I felt the sting before I understood what caused it. A sharp, surgical snap of sound that shot straight through the wall and into my spine. It wasn't loud, but it was vicious enough to freeze my hands midair as I laced my wedding gown. The satin ribbon slipped from my fingers. Then her voice slid through the wall like a blade dipped in honey. She'll trip on the hem. I made sure. Everyone will see it. I want her to fall flat on her face. My future mother-in-law. My soon-to-be husband's adored mother. A woman who had smiled at me for 18 months straight. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. My heartbeat shook my ribs like it was trying to escape. Isn't this too risky, ma'am? Another voice whispered, nervous, timid. If anyone finds out. You're being paid, she snapped. Do what you were told. And make sure the slideshow is cued exactly the way I gave it to you. The slideshow. The gift she insisted on preparing. The surprise she claimed was meant to honor me. My breath grew cold. My palms dampened. Something ancient and instinctive in my chest began to curl inward. I stepped toward the table where the small lace box sat, the USB drive resting inside like a poisoned pearl. I didn't want to look. But some betrayals yank your chin up and force your eyes open. My fingers trembled as I slid the drive into my laptop. The slideshow opened automatically, and my stomach dropped through the floor. Photos of me, unflattering, taken from bad angles, cropped to humiliate. Screenshots of old messages ripped out of context. A drunk ex-boyfriend's voicemail manipulated to sound like recent cheating. A final slide. Is this the woman you think deserves my son? Something in my chest twisted so violently, I had to grip the edge of the table just to stay upright. I didn't sob. I didn't scream. I went very, very still. Then came a soft knock. Sweetheart, she called sweetly. Are you almost ready? My voice barely scratched out. 1 minute. Her footsteps faded. I opened the slideshow again, staring at her carefully crafted cruelty, and then at my reflection in the black screen behind it. A bride. A target. A woman she believed was too soft to fight back. She was wrong. I dragged her entire show off the timeline. Deleted everything. Every image, every lie. Then I opened the folder I had built on instinct over the past few months. Screenshots, messages, emails I wasn't meant to see but accidentally encountered. Hints. Accusations. Bank statements she left open. A conversation I overheard that wasn't meant for me. I had never intended to use any of it. But today she gave me no choice. I replaced every slide with truth. Her truth. Then copied the entire thing onto a backup drive, just in case, and slid it into my bra. My hands didn't shake anymore. Something far colder was guiding them. You look beautiful, my fiancé whispered at the altar. His hands trembled as they held mine. His eyes shone with such raw love that for a moment guilt cut through me like a flash of lightning. Did he know? Was he part of this? Or was he just another puppet in her carefully knitted theater? I didn't have the answer yet. But I would. The ceremony glowed, gold lights, jasmine-scented air, cameras clicking softly. But under the beauty was a simmering unease. His mother watched me like she was timing a fall she'd orchestrated. Her lips twitched every time my dress swayed. We exchanged vows. He kissed me with shaking breath. The world cheered. But the only moment that mattered was still ahead. The reception was stunning. Candlelit tables, strings of white roses, soft violin chords floating like silk. His mother strutted through the ballroom as though she owned the air. My darling girl, she said, pulling me into a stiff hug. Don't worry about the slideshow. It's my gift. Oh, I'm sure it is, I replied softly. A crack flickered across her face. Barely there. But I saw it. Her instincts whispered warnings she didn't know how to interpret. Good. Let her feel uneasy. When she drifted away, I followed her subtle path toward the tech booth. She leaned in close to the technician, whispering sharply. 3 minutes. Started exactly on my signal. The tech nodded. Nervous. I stepped forward. Everything all right? Her smile stretched thin. Just making sure the evening is perfect. Oh, I said sweetly. I'm sure tonight will be unforgettable. This time the crack in her smile widened. The lights dimmed. A hush fell across the ballroom. Ladies and gentlemen, the DJ announced, please enjoy a special slideshow prepared by the groom's mother. Spotlight on her table. Her chin lifted. Her smile gleamed. The screen lit up. And her world began to burn. The first image hit the screen like a slap. Not me. Her. Her. Standing inside a jewelry store. Lips pressed against a man who was definitely not her husband. His hands around her waist. Her hair in his fingers. Her wedding ring glinting in the light. A gasp rippled through the room so sharply it felt like the chandeliers trembled. His mother froze. Smile dying mid-bloom. Her wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering onto the marble floor. The next slide appeared before she could breathe. Her. Signing papers in an office beneath a different last name. Dates. Signatures. Payments. Another slide. Her. Outside a modern apartment, slipping a bundle of cash to a teenage boy who looked terrified to be seen. Then messages. Dozens of screenshots of WhatsApp chats. Please don't tell my son. I can't lose my family. Keep the girl away, I already told her I'm his aunt. I'll send more money after the wedding. The room erupted into a low, shocked roar. Her husband, my new father-in-law, stood so fast his chair scraped against the floor. What is this? He barked. But she didn't answer. She was staring at the screen like she could will it into dust. Then came the slide I knew would break her. A paternity test. Her name. The other man's name. The teenage boy's name. And in bold letters at the bottom, relationship probability. 99.8%. Biological mother. A full-body shiver exploded through the crowd. People grabbed their mouths. Some stood. Others whispered furiously. Her husband staggered back as if punched. The slideshow wasn't done. A video clip flashed next. One I had found by accident when her phone had synced to the family iPad months ago. Her voice. Clear. Sharp. Cruel. I'll ruin her before she ruins my family. My son will thank me someday. Gasps. Whispers. A few outright screams. Her son, my husband, turned toward me slowly, like his entire skeleton had turned to glass. Tears gathered in his eyes. What is happening? He whispered. But before I could answer, his mother shot to her feet. You, she shrieked, pointing at me with a shaking hand. You did this. You evil little. I stepped forward, calm and centered. No, I said, my voice slicing through the chaos. You did this. The room went silent. I looked at her directly, no fear, no trembling. You tried to destroy me with lies. I defended myself with your truth. She lunged at me, wild, feral, but two guests grabbed her arms before she reached me. She thrashed, kicking, screaming, mascara streaking down her cheeks in black rivers. Stop this. All of you. That slideshow is fake. She made it. It's not fake. My husband's voice cracked through the air like a whip. His face was pale, devastated, but firm. He looked at the screen again. The test. The messages. Her affair. The money. He whispered. Mom, how could you? She choked. I did it for you. No, he said, stepping back from her. You did it for yourself. Her husband marched toward her, fury erupting across his face. 20 years of lies, he shouted. A hidden son? And you dared to judge her. She sobbed, collapsing to her knees. The guests were frozen, horrified, unable to look away. And I was calm. Not victorious. Not triumphant. Just free. My husband grabbed my hands. Why didn't you tell me? I met his eyes, raw red, trembling with betrayal that wasn't mine. Because I didn't know what you knew, I said. Or what you'd choose if it came down to me, or her. He closed his eyes tightly, pain slicing through him. I would have chosen you, he whispered. I believed him. But trust wasn't rebuilt by words alone. Not tonight. We'll talk, I said softly. But not here. He nodded, breath shuddering. I'm so sorry you went through this alone. I squeezed his hand gently. You were never the enemy. Behind us, his mother wailed, begging, pleading. A woman watching her castle collapse brick by brick. Her husband walked out of the ballroom. The guests didn't follow her. No one offered a hand. Her own secrets had swallowed her whole. We stepped away from the crowd, slipping into a quiet hallway just outside the chaos. Soft music vibrated through the walls, muffled by layers of shock. My husband lifted my hand to his lips. Whatever happens, we face it together. His voice was broken, honest, stripped of everything except love. I exhaled for the first time in hours. In that case, I whispered, I'm willing to try. Relief flooded his face so powerfully he almost collapsed. He pulled me gently into his arms, not as a savior, not as a man claiming something, but as someone terrified of losing the woman he loved. Behind us, the ballroom was filled with shouts, footsteps, and the crumbling of a legacy built on lies. On our wedding day, justice wasn't cruel. It was necessary. His mother had planned to humiliate me. Instead, her own secrets became the spectacle. A truth she never imagined would surface. A truth she believed she could bury beneath control, manipulation, and cruelty. But I wasn't the fragile bride she mistook me for. I wasn't the pawn she expected to break. I was the woman who refused to be destroyed. And as we walked out of the hall, my husband's fingers laced tightly with mine. One thought burned in my mind. Some weddings end in disaster. Mine began with truth. And truth is the strongest foundation of all.